here to honor the Sabbath for the Jewish people. Now this is called the Shabbat Project or the Sabbath Project, and we have 2,500 women here gathered to do something, bake Challa. Challa is a type of bread. It's got a very major significance to it, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But hello and welcome back to Janette's I'm Every Woman TV. We are here at the Embassy Grand Hotel in Brampton, Ontario, to do a Challa bake with 2,500 Jewish women who are preparing for the Sabbath in a project called the Sabbath Project. Now I'm here with
Ilana Rubenstein.
And Ilana is what we call a Challa doctor. Now I explained before, Challa is a type of bread that is made to celebrate the Sabbath, and it has very significant purpose. Let's hear a little bit about that.
So challah is a traditional food that we eat usually, but the truth is that when we talk about making challah, it's not really the bread. What it is it's a piece of the dough that we take, and we acknowledge that everything in our life, our family, our livelihood, everything we create in this world is really a gift. And this is an opportunity for Jewish women across the observant spectrum, across all of Toronto and the greater GTA, to come together in unity and get ready for our Shabbat.
In order to take challah and actually say a blessing, you have to make your challah out of at least 14 cups of flour. You can also actually, the recipe that we gave you tonight, it talks about 12 cups of flour. 12 is okay too. But for me to do it tonight, I did the maximum. So I'm using 14 cups of flour, and we're about to make this blessing.
So I'm here with Dina.
Hi. Dina Ben Solomon.
And Dina Ben Solomon has been a very active force behind organizing the Shabbat Project. Tell me a little bit about what you've been doing and how long you've been doing it to get this to work.
So it started off about 4 months ago in Toronto when we saw a video from South Africa. We thought, we've got to get on board. Toronto has to get on board. So 3 or 4 of us, emailed South Africa and said, how can we get involved? It just kept snowballing and getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And we had, I think today, 6 high schools bust in for helping us to set up today. We have a concert on Saturday night. We have 6,000 people in the city keeping Shabbat for the first time. It is incredible. The city has come together. The women have come together. And incredible team of people who have put this together. Hundreds and hundreds of volunteers.
Okay, so Dina, I understand that this is a project that brings together all Jews of all denominations, and I'd like to know, where has the greatest support come from? Is it from the people who do not keep Shabbat, like the Jews who do not keep Shabbat? How are you getting them to keep Shabbat, and in what ways?
So we've had support from every single denomination in this city. We've had support with volunteer hours. Some people can't give money, they give their time. Some people give money. Some people donated things. People donated benchers and challah cards. And we have on Facebook a group, the Shabbat Project Toronto. You must go there to check out every single donor and volunteer that was involved in this. So the support has been throughout the whole entire city. We have had women from every denomination. We had Beth Tikva blew it out of the water. We had a huge charity campaign. All of a sudden, we see this $14,000 donation come through. Who is it? Beth Tikva. We have from down south, we have the community hosting. We have 6,000 people being hosted in the city by people who already keep Shabbat. So have people that don't keep Shabbat in their houses. So the support has been even all the way throughout from every single denomination in the whole city, and it's incredible.
That's great. And so you can all do your part. Whether that's just having a Friday night dinner or keeping the entire 25 hours or, going to the concert or attending something like this. Now let's talk just very quickly, a little bit about how the women's roles in Judaism impact not just Jewish people, but like non-Jews too, because I think that women have a very important role in Judaism. So can you want to talk a little bit about that?
The Jewish woman has a strong power. The Jewish woman's power is to give, is to be loving, is to be caring. Our hearts are huge. We love everybody. We want to be a part of world happiness. We want to be a part of just the pleasure and the beauty in sisters taking care of each other. It is an incredibly important thing for us to do, for us to get together, take care of each other, be strong, Jewish, not Jewish, denominational, not denominational, it doesn't matter. I probably had 100 volunteers that came to the Shabbat Project that weren't Jewish at all. They wanted to help. They wanted to be a part of it. They feel the love from us. They feel the love from the world. And it was just a very amazing connection to have with everybody around the world.
Okay, so thank you so much. You've been great. I know you got to run to another interview. So thank you for being a guest with me here today. Thank you very much. And we'll talk soon. Okay, bye-bye. Good luck. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. And I'm here with Adrienne Gold, who is very instrumental in the Shabbat Project. But some of us remember Adrienne from years ago when she was the fashion expertise diva on CTV's Canada AM.
And some of us remember each other from when we worked in a shopping mall across the way from each other. Remember that?
Yes, at Yorkdale Mall. When forever. I worked at Chadwick and you worked at Town Shoes. And I came in to buy shoes and you sold me.
I remember them. I still love shoes. Look at my shoes.
Oh my God, they're fabulous. And I still love shoes and clothes too.
Okay, good.
So Adrienne, let's talk a little bit. I mean, I know you're very knowledgeable. You yourself, if you don't mind us talking a little bit about this, you were born Jewish, like I'm born Jewish.
Yeah.
And I was raised traditional. I think maybe you were raised traditional or Reform or whatever.
Yeah.
And now you're Orthodox.
I am.
And so can you talk a little bit about that transition and how, even the Shabbat has impacted you over those years?
Yeah. Shall I take this? Is it okay? Okay, so, you and I have never had this conversation. And so I kind of want to tell you, because it was a huge life change for me. I was married. I had a couple of kids, a husband who was a 24/7 workaholic. No matter how much I tried to squeeze out private time, it wasn't happening. Nothing was happening. We were just on that treadmill 24/7. Our boys were starting to get older, and we realized it was time to give them some sort of a Jewish education. But, the truth is, I lived a very unorthodox life, if you will, pardon my pun, and so did my husband.
I love you.
And we had absolutely nothing to give over. So we decided that the appropriate thing to do would be to study. He and I, we'd learn. So we'd learn, what does it mean to teach a kid you're Jewish? What does it really mean? How do you make a mensch? How do you be a mensch? So we both
started. A mensch is a decent person.
Yeah, a human being. Somebody above just the instincts of, whatever hits you, whatever you want to do. Just a real ability to elevate yourself. So we started to study, and we fell in love with it. We just fell in love with our system, with the wisdom, with the depth, with the, even on all the years I was in fashion, I always had a deep regard for meaning. And it got to a point where I could no longer eke out the meaning and what purse you should wear with those shoes. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
It's not that aesthetics aren't important, they are, but I wanted more, and I found it. And so we became increasingly involved.
Well, that's wonderful. But, we're talking now about a project that for some people and some Jewish people, this will be their first Shabbat experience ever, or maybe one they haven't had in a long time since maybe when they grew up in their parents' home or what have you. So take me through what it was like for you that very first Shabbat that you had, where you're like really, where it meant something to you, because I think that we're going to see that. Some people, that's going to happen. That's going to be their experience this weekend.
Okay, so you know what? It's not all or nothing. I am completely what they call Shomer Shabbat. No cell phones. I don't turn on the lights on and off. I don't cook. I don't use the computer. I don't use any form of technology. I am completely disconnected in order to connect. That's what I do. But at the beginning, at the very start, we didn't do everything. We started bit by bit. I think the first thing we did was stop driving to synagogue. We decided to start walking. And there's something in the actual slowing down of the transportation as you take yourself from one venue to another that kind of slows down the whole process. Naturally, we didn't have our phones with us. So that was the beginning. And then we stopped. I believe I stopped cooking next. The last thing I think I gave up was the phone because I was so terrified that if I just couldn't be reached for 5 minutes, that the entire world would end. Did you ever watch The Young and the Restless?
Watch them. I've also interviewed the whole cast.
Okay. Did you ever notice how you don't have to watch it for 10 years? You can tune it back in, and Jill is still standing in the house, holding a glass, right? Yeah. Nothing changes. But I always thought if I missed one day. So I remember the first Sunday morning that I had not used the phone, that no one could reach me, that I had just completely disconnected. And the world went on turning without me, interestingly enough. It was very humbling.
And you know what? That's amazing because, today everybody's so engrossed with technology and all these things, and there's a disconnect in families. And what this to me means is that you're bringing connection back. And I want to talk a little bit with you about the importance of the woman's role in Judaism, and in particular in preparing the Sabbath meal.
Okay. So this is a really important question. There is this erroneous idea, and it's absolutely not true, that Judaism is this patriarchal, anti-feminist religion. Now, you've known me for a long time. Do you think that if that's what it was, I would be part of that? I'm no shrinking blind. Hell no, girl. No, I think not.
I'm not a complacent type of chick.
Okay, exactly. So here's the thing. The role of a woman and the role of a man are equal, but different. Today's society says that if you're going to be equal to something, you have to be the same as it, which I actually think is completely unfair and really, misguided. So the woman's role in the home, the woman anchors the home. The woman, obviously the religion passes through the mother, but the idea about educating your children, the idea about creating an environment where thriving moral, ethical, spiritual, emotional things can develop is largely in the hands of the mother. We know that the mother shapes everything. So to get ready for Shabbat, I start on Monday. I buy the most beautiful piece of meat on Monday, and the most gorgeous grapes on Tuesday, and the most fabulous lettuces on Wednesday, and my favorite cake on Thursday. So I don't make a ton of work for myself. By the time I prepare for Shabbat, I have spent the entire week getting ready the way you would for your birthday or New Year's Eve, right?
That is amazing. And I just think the whole experience of it, the calming down, the enjoyment, the festivity, the eating of great food, the preparation, and getting the family together and the friends and actually talking to people rather than texting people. It's just amazing. And you know what? It sounds so wonderful. I hope that you'll invite me for Shabbat.
You're definitely invited. I'm a really good cook. Do you remember? Do you remember? That's right. Do you remember in the early years when before there was Sunday opening of shopping? The entire world used to stop for one day. Now it is a 24/7 world. I really feel like I've reclaimed my life by setting boundaries about what I will and will not do out there in the world. And my gosh, the benefits for family life is stupendous.
Okay, I'm going to just ask you a few more questions because we've got 2 more interviews coming on. But given this transition in your life, do you ever have moments where you go back and think to yourself, if I didn't do this, who would I be? Would I still be a media person? Who would I be if you didn't make that transition?
I think the real question is, would I be where I am today if I hadn't done it? And, I had everything, or what people think is everything. I had my own television show. I had and have a happy marriage, 2 beautiful sons. But there was a piece missing. There was always a piece missing. I was always scratching forward for more. I learned how to live in the moment. I learned through Shabbat and through the wisdom of our tradition how to be a human being and not a human doing. And so I can't even look back with any regret. I look forward with excitement. And I look back and smile and think, thank God I came where I did.
Well, you know what? It's been such a pleasure talking to you. Somebody who had their own show, who knows what it's like to do your own show. Thank you. And it's been real. We're here with Rebekkah. Say your full name.
Rebekkah Price.
Rebekkah Price, who is a beautiful jewelry designer. Let's see some of your stuff.
Thank you.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Tell me the name of your company.
It's Rebekkah Price Designs.
Rebekkah Price Designs. Okay, but Rebekkah, you're here as part of the Shabbat Project or the Shabbat Project.
Yes.
And tell us why, what does this mean to you? Why did you get involved in it?
Well, I think what appealed to me the most is I'm an observant Jew, and at the same token, I'm also very involved in the fashion industry. I'm a jewelry designer, but I've always maintained my religious observance. Shabbat is integral to my life, and I definitely am a workaholic, but I find that, once it's Friday, I definitely shut down my phone and keep Shabbat, and it is my lifesaver. It is a gift. I live for Shabbat. I dream of Shabbat Monday morning, and I believe in it so much, and I really wanted to exemplify to Jewish women that you can be in both worlds and observe at the same time. So,
and it's not just Jewish women, right? I mean, I think this is an exemplary role model or lifestyle model for all women, because today, I mean, look, you said it yourself. Today, women are inundated, right? We're expected to be career women, but we're also raising families.
that's right.
And we don't have much time for ourselves. There is a lack of connection. Shabbat helps to bring that together. Do you ever wonder what it would be like if you had not had a religious upbringing? Would you still be interested in Shabbat?
You know, that's a really good question. I have to say, I only know from observing Shabbat. I truly respect people that take it upon themselves who have never had that exposure. I probably would be very inclined to learn more about it. There's something about Shabbat that it's indescribable. It's probably the only time that I am completely focused on what really matters. Other than business, I get to sit with my family and speak about all the pleasures of the week that God gave us. So I probably would be enveloped in it nonetheless.
Now, as a busy businesswoman, do you have time to bake your own challah, or just for tonight?
To be honest with you, I'm good at many things. Baking is not my forte, but we do manage to buy a great challah. There's wonderful bakeries in Toronto.
Yeah,
so.
that's what they say. That's
Yes.
why God created bakeries.
That's for sure.
Oh, so okay, I get you on that. I don't even have time to cook.
Exactly.
So, it's very good that you even do all this and that you find that life balance. And really, that's what we're talking about, ladies. We're talking about finding that life balance and having a little piece of everything rather than just being like engrossed in work and not having anything else.
There's no question about it. Sorry, I was just going to say, I also have 3 children, and this is something.
Like that?
Thank you.
Isn't she gorgeous?
Thank you. But I think that it is so important to teach children what really counts in life. And, we sit around the table, we speak about the beauty of the week and what we're grateful for, and that's really what it's about.
And women are instrumental teachers because we set the example and we teach. And if we don't do this for our kids wind up becoming very assimilated. And so you're doing a great thing. I want to thank you so much. I have to let you go. I know you have to go too. And I just want to give you a plug one more time because, I mean, look at this amazing jewelry. And just tell us how we can get some of that jewelry.
Thank you. So you can go on to RebekkahPrice.com, RebekkAH, and we sell all over the U.S. and Canada, and we just went international this year, so it's very exciting. So it's RebekkahPrice.com.
Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate you having a spot here on Janette's Time Every Woman TV, and we'll catch you next time. Okay, and good Shabbos.
Thank you.
Okay. And I'm sitting with Noreen Gilletz, who's a repeat guest on Janette's Time Every Woman TV, and that's what we're calling it now that it's in production season 4, and I'm producing it with my own team.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Fabulous.
So Noreen was on, I think you were on my season 2 episode, right around the Paula Abdul time.
That's
yes.
Right. You have a very good memory.
Yes, because you're related to her a little bit.
We're cousins.
Right. And Noreen is an awesome cook. I mean, you're well known for cooking, aren't you?
I'm a very good writer.
Okay.
I'm a good
Talk
cook.
a little bit about your books.
My books, I've written 9 books. I'm working on a 10th. The 10th book will be called The Silver Platter. I'm working with Daniela Silver, so that's why it's called The Silver Platter.
Oh, how nice.
Simple to Spectacular. I've done The Food Processor Bible, which was The Pleasures of Your Processor, Noreen's Healthy Kitchen, Healthy Helpings, which was Millennium, Second Helpings, which I will probably be on my tombstone. Here she lies because of too many second helpings, please. And books on other health
my mom taught me how to cook from Second Helpings.
I know everybody's mother did. And the pages are gathered together with an elastic band and spattered pages.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But Noreen, you came to this project, the Shabbat Project. How did you come and get involved in it, and why did you want to? What was the attraction?
I was called and asked if I would participate and lead the kneading, and I thought it was a wonderful way because I think connecting through food. I think we all have such strong food memories, and it takes us back to our childhood when we were little, sitting at our parents' table. I grew up with going to my Baba and my Zeta for...
That's the grandma and grandpa.
The grandma and the grandpa for sitting at their table. And food memories, my mother cooking. So people connect to me with food. So they felt it would be a good match. And I thought the idea of everybody keeping a Shabbos together was fabulous. I had seen the video that was done from South Africa, and I was so impressed. I actually put together a challah class, and then I was talking to Dina Ben Salman, and she told me that they were going to do this big project, and I was so impressed. I said, sure, I'll participate.
So tell me, how do you make a killer challah? What's in the batter? What's the secret recipe?
Yeast to make it rise, eggs to make it rich, some sugar or honey to make it sweet, salt just to balance out the flavor, liquid, so that would be water, and of course flour. And I said yeast. So that I have recipes. Actually, if you go on to gourmania.com or you go into any of my books, I have I have a recipe for a really good challah. My challah recipe was a prize winner.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
And you can make it. Cute. And you can make it in a bread maker, you can make it in a food processor, or you can make it in a bowl by hand.
And Adrienne Gold was saying earlier in her MC that challah can actually be made from a variety of different not flours or wheat or different things, right? Like spelt and different things.
People do make spelt challahs, or they may use part whole wheat. I don't like to do a complete whole wheat. They're too heavy. I think you need, challah is special. You can be healthy the rest of the week. You want to have a little bit of luxury on challah. It's a special time and you want it to be rich and good.
And have you ever made a challah like for a Shabbos or even a high holiday that is a crown challah with raisins and that sort of thing? Is that a little bit harder to make?
No. You just, I've done different ways. I've done like what I did tonight, where I twisted you can braid the challah, and then you can form it into a ring, or you can just take a long rope and then just twist it around. You knead in raisins right at the beginning, like right after your dough is formed. Just at the very end, you knead in your raisins so that it's nice and sweet. If you don't want to add raisins, you could add cranberries into it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and you can top it with a streusel type of topping, which would be sugar, flour, and some oil, usually equal parts.
That's getting to sound like a bit like a cake.
Well, sure it is, of course.
Yeah. It's quite fattening, isn't it, challah? Sugar alone.
No. You're so busy kneading the dough that how could it possibly be fattening? Look at all the calories you burnt.
That's you making it, but what about the people eating it?
Then you'll learn to make it yourself, so you'll burn the calories.
Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about your experience as a Jewess and how you've come to be a part of all this and how you bring your music to it.
Well, I think my music is something that a lot of Jewish women relate to. I am a Jewish woman, and family and relationships and children are really important to me, and I write about what's important to me. So I've written a bunch of songs with those themes, and that's, I think, what connects me to this community.
And that's what I think also, if I may say, connects you to so many women, whether they're Jewish or not, because you really seem to get it, right? I mean, the song Love, Pain, and the whole damn thing, I think that just sums it up. What do you think?
I write about what I know. I always live my life, and then I try and look around and learn the lessons of where I'm at in any particular stage. And, you know, Love, Pain, and the whole damn thing, I think it was so popular because life is not perfect. You know, I don't think any of us have lived a life that doesn't have challenges and bumps in the road. And I think it's fun to celebrate the challenges as well as the victories.
Okay, so can we get a little up close and personal?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you one to keep Shabbat? I mean, it's one way or the other, doesn't really matter. I'll be honest with you, I was not raised to keep Shabbat. And I would like to know if keeping Shabbat is something that you could realistically do in the type of business that you're in. I mean, being a singer, not always living in Toronto. I know you lived in Nashville for a little while. It would be hard, I would imagine. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I keep Shabbat the way I was raised to keep Shabbat, which is to have a family dinner every Friday night. That's what I do. That's nice. a deep tradition in my family, and I've got 5 brothers and sisters, and we still try and gather as much as we can on Friday nights. And I actually, I'm just recording a CD now of Hebrew songs that can be used in a Kabbalat Shabbat service.
Oh, that's very interesting. And where can we find that CD?
It will be available online probably by January or February.
Do you have a website that we can find it online?
Yeah, well, it'll be on iTunes, but you can check it out at amysky.com, or I have a Facebook page, and like an Amy Sky Music Facebook page, and there'll be updates on there. And
well, that sounds great. Now, being a singer, how much of your Jewish background gave you training as a singer? Like, did you sing in the choir at synagogue or anything like that?
That's a great question. The truth is, I was a classically trained instrumental player. I played the piano and cello, and when I was training for my bat mitzvah, at the age of 13 was the first time I really spent any time singing. I was never interested in singing till then because I always wanted to play instruments. But
that beautiful voice?
Well, I didn't know that I had one. I didn't ever sing. I was always too busy playing, instruments. And then when I was getting ready for my bat mitzvah, I discovered my voice, and that's when I got really interested in singing and songwriting. I was always composing, but instrumental, and then I started writing lyrics when I started singing.
That's wonderful. So if we could just sum up this whole experience for you into like one word or one message that you would like to pass on about why it's important to do this or be involved in this, what would that be?
Why it's important to be involved in the Challa bake,
or the Shabbat Project, or anything like. Just the whole. Just sum it up to one word or one line about this whole experience for you.
I think it's empowering. I think it's empowering to gather as women with a single vision to bring family values and positive values into the world.
And I don't know if you'll agree with me on this, but I would say also that it's so nice to see women coming together and supporting women. We don't see a lot of that today. Women are off on their own. They've become disconnected from other women because they don't go to meetings. They don't get involved in chapters. They spend their time at work. And this is like something that they can really bond over.
Yeah, I agree. Community is very powerful. And when women gather together in service of something for the greater good, it's wonderful. It's uplifting.
Well, I certainly feel that same way. I mean, that's the whole mandate behind my whole show here. So we're trying to impact and empower women through our guests, and I think you've done a wonderful job, and I want to thank you so much. I know you're tired. You sang 3 songs tonight. Thank you for being on my show, and I look forward to maybe having you back at another time when your new CDs are out.
Thank you. That'd be a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And thank you for being with us. This is Janette Burke saying good night from Brampton, Ontario at the Embassy Suite Convention Center. We've had a wonderful time with 2,500 women celebrating and preparing for Shabbat for the Shabbat Project. See you next time. And until then, continue to be fabulous.